Well, we're back in the shop again with our '07 Avalanche. Just a little north of 290,000 miles on this now, and we're replacing the water pump for the first time. Just starting to drizzle a little bit of water out of it. Not sure how well you can see that, but it's starting to get just a little damp around the edges. Pissing out the weep hole like always. And the water pump bearing starting to make a little noise too. So the first thing we're going to do is get some of this stuff out of our way. This cover just lifts up and pulls forward. Now I'll get rid of the air intake here. 8mm takes these hose clamps off. Oh, we got this little clamp here, little holds the hose up. We'll just use a screwdriver to pry that down. Should be using a trim tool, but we don't have one, so make and do. PCV line on that side, and it should just lift up and pull forward. I'm not exactly sure whether that's a PCV line or not, but it is. It does come out of the valve cover. Some kind of ventilation. Anyways. Have a look around, see what we need. I guess we can pop that belt off next. That should be a 15mm there. Okay, we got our 15mm on. Just pull that down. We'll slide the belt off. And whoops, there goes the camera. Happens once a video, that's for sure. Move my wrench back. There we go. Guess we'll pull the tensioner off next. Next is the 3 tensioner bolts. With 290,000 miles on this, it would be a good time also to replace the idler or the tensioner, but we're not sure how long this thing's going to last, so we're not replacing anything that doesn't really need it. Oh, we're going to pull off the lower radiator hose off the thermostat housing next. We do have a catch can under there. We're going to try to catch as much coolant as we can because the coolant is kind of new. We replaced that this fall. See how we make out. Sure, we're just gonna make a mess, but I think we got more dirt in the catch can than we did coolant. Well, we got a couple more hoses to take off. I'll get a pair of pliers for that. Well, next we'll take off the 2 heater hoses. There we go. And I'm going to get a little screwdriver to maybe pry up on those. Oh, that's coming right off. I thought that was going to be stuck on there. Now we're making a mess. The other hose comes off as easy. Yes, it's gonna. Alright, just the upper hose is next. Now, if you had the right pliers, you wouldn't struggle nearly as much with these clamps, but just the regular set of channel locks do work. The problem is I'm always trying not to bang the camera either. Alright, so all that's left now is to take out the 6 bolts and hold the water pump on. Like I said, there's 6 bolts holding the water pump on. One of them's kind of hidden in here, but when you're looking at your new water pump, you'll be able to see where they are. That's pretty simple. Alright. They're 10 mil. Here's the first one out. I think we'll grab the air ratchet, make this a little easier. Alright, give this a shot. That's better. Leave that one in a bit until we get the other 3 out. Little harder to get on camera, these bolts. They're kind of hidden from a good camera angle, but you'll see them for sure. Thought I had it all the way out. One down. There's two. Save the easiest one to see for last. Seems like it's kind of stuck there. The gasket's probably holding it. Oh, no it's not. Here it comes. Move my light. And we're losing more coolant. All right, there she is. Well, first we'll take a scraper, clean up the gasket surface the best we can. Then we have a little 3M pad on our drill that we'll use just to clean up a little better. Being that it's aluminum, you know, you do get a little bit of corrosion. Want it good and clean for you to get a good seal. So we're going to spend a couple minutes on this. It's kind of hard to film with the camera right there, but nothing you really need to see anyways, I guess. Next thing we have to do is swap over the thermostat housing and thermostat to the new water pump. That feels really tight. I'm going to put a little bit of lube on the back side of these here. We haven't broken any bolts yet. It's a little PB blaster. Just didn't feel like they're going to come out too easy, so a little lube never hurts. And there we go. We did buy a new O-ring, so we can use the new one. Still has the old O-ring here. Let's pop that out. There we go. We got underneath it now. Whoop! Let the thermostat come out. All right. Not too cruddy in here, considering it's got close to 300,000 miles on it. Just got to spend a minute or two doing that, and we'll put the new O-ring on. So I took my time getting that cleaned up. You will notice that there's a little notch here, and there's a corresponding notch on this O-ring to put in just like so. First, we need to put it over top of, well, let's clean this off a little first. That O-ring's kind of split, and you put it around the thermostat. And it sits just in like that. Right, get some of the crap out of our way. Alright, we'll get that snugged up and I'll look for a torque spec. So the spec I found was 11 foot-pounds for the thermostat housing. And I've already snugged it down. Double check here. There we go, we're tight. So what we're going to do is, we'll throw some bolts through here. We'll get the gaskets on. Bolts will hold it centered. At least put a couple in each one. And then walk it over to the truck and try to get it in without dropping everything. Should probably put just a touch of Permatex or something like that on to hold this gasket in place, but everybody says to put these on dry when they're the metal gaskets like this, so that's what we'll do. I'm sure we'll manage fine. Hey, here's the part where you could use a couple extra hands. Getting the one side started okay, but the other side doesn't want to go in too easy. There we go. Okay, we got them all started, so we'll cinch them up and get them torqued down. Okay, the torque spec for these is 22 foot-pounds from what I found online, and it says to do it in 2 increments. Go to 11 and then up to 22. We'll use our little torque wrench to get us to 11. Just going to snug them up as we go and then torque them. Oh, that's easy. That's done. Done. Okay. 3 down, 3 to go. Alright, now up to 22 foot-pounds. Alright, so like I said, the torque is 22 foot-pounds. We've gone back and just going to double check. Click. 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 So we got all 6 tightened down to 22. I got to put the hoses on next. Start with the heater hoses. And again with these spring clamps. Bottom radiator hose. That we got a worm clamp on. And then the top radiator hose. We got the belt routed around. Now we just gotta pull that tensioner over. And there we go. Now a good look at the belt. Make sure it's in all the grooves properly and lined up right. It will fray pretty quick if you don't have it on right. Okay, that looks decent. I just guess the covers and that's about it. We'll put some coolant in it and see if we have any leaks. Well, we ran out of battery power before we were done. I didn't even notice. But we got the cover back on and charge up the battery there, and you know, we topped up the reservoir. It's not totally full. We want to leave that down a little bit before I can measure the freezing point. Might have to add some more Dex Cool to it. And we're just checking for leaks. So far, it looks pretty good. Here's where the heater hoses are attached, nice and dry. Pump attached to the block there, that's nice and dry. Upper hose, that's good. Lower hose or the thermostat housing, it's all nice and tight and dry. I think we did okay. Well, this wasn't too hard of a job. It took me just a little over 2 hours from start to finish. Well, I guess we'll call this a success. Well, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Always appreciate subscribers. Thanks for watching.